So the first leg of the playoff between Livingston and Ross County finishes 1-1 with a controversial penalty awarded at the end of the game and some unsavoury scenes at the end of the game as well. I actually went to the game tonight as well just to go along to it. There was still some tickets on sale, as you could have seen from the TV broadcast, although the side that the camera was on was actually really busy, to be fair. In terms of the game itself, Livingston probably the team looking most likely at times. I thought both teams were pretty poor in the final third for the most part in the game. Livingston could have had multiple goals. They had big chances that they ballooned wide or ballooned over the bar. None more so than Robbie Muirhead as well. He had a couple of big chances that were spooned, particularly in the first half. There was one. But getting into the game itself, Livingston's goalie actually made a really good save in the first 5 or so minutes from a Ross County corner header that looked goal-bound, and he tipped it wide. Great save from him. And then that was kind of Ross County's only kind of clear-cut effort in the first half. After that, it was all Livingston in terms of creating chances. The Muirhead one that I mentioned a minute ago, he got a ball, he brought it down at the back post, he's maybe 6 yards out, and I think it is his weaker foot, but it's a really terrible finish. He balloons it over the stadium, in fact. I don't know if you would have been able to see it on the TV broadcast for it, but it went over the stadium. And then the goal itself comes from Danny Wilson, and just before half-time. It's a really, really scrappy instance where there's balls getting kicked off each other, and then he gets the better of it, fires it into the back of the net just before half-time to put Livingston 1-0 up. And at that point, you would probably say it was deserved, creating all the chances at that point. No real threat from Ross County apart from that header early on. The second half, much the same. Ross County threatened the goal maybe a couple of times in the entire half, but it was mainly Livy creating the chances. Again, fired wide, not really troubling the goalkeeper. But there was the incident that Livingston potentially could have had a penalty themselves. The player was booked for diving by John Beaton. I haven't actually seen the incident back, so I can't comment on it. But it looked like it potentially could have been a penalty in real time for us anyway. But we were at the other end of the pitch by that point, so it was kind of a hard watch to see from there, so can't really comment on it until I've seen it back. The actual penalty incident for Ross County, though, that came with what was pretty much the last kick of the game, we saw immediately that there was a shirt pull on Jordan White, but my opinion when it comes to something like this, the ball is travelling away from White. He's never getting on the end of it, and even if he is, he's not getting an effort at goal. So I don't, as much as there is a shirt pull, and he's kind of jumped, to be fair, to as soon as he feels his shirt being pulled, he's gone to ground by Danny, with the shirt being pulled by Danny Wilson. As much as there is a shirt pull in it, he's never getting on the end of the ball. It hasn't impacted the play at all. And for me, stuff like that shouldn't be a penalty. But as soon as the incident happened in real time, we thought that it would go to VAR. Because of the shirt pull, at least, and that it would be in his ear. And the longer that the check went on for, the more likely it seemed that the penalty was going to be given. And then, of course, when Beaton gets called over to the monitor, 95% of the time, that means that the decision is going to be changed. The penalty itself from Ronan Hale, it's a really, really good penalty. In fairness, the goalie goes the right way, and it still gets slotted into the side net, and you can't ask for more than that from your striker in terms of a penalty kick. Unfortunately, the unsavoury scenes after that, though, we didn't really know what was going on at the time, just that a lot of fans were running over to the dugout. Ross County's dugout wasn't happy. The radio after the game seemed to confirm that a Livingston fan spat at a backroom staff member of the Ross County bench, which just, it isn't really acceptable, and it almost incited a riot from the fans and the backroom staff. And then not long after that, John Beaton just blows the final whistle, meaning that it's all to play for up in Dingwall on Monday night. Ross County have used Dingwall before in the past in these situations to turn stuff around. They don't have to turn around a 1-0 deficit now, thanks to that last-minute penalty. and they can potentially take advantage of that, or will Livingston go up to Dingwall for the second time this season and get themselves the win like they did in the Scottish Cup? It could be extra time as well when that happens too. We'll wait and see what happens. But in terms of the game itself, you know, the quality of player might not have been what was on display in the Europa League final last night, but the game itself, in my opinion, was a much more entertaining watch. As I said, the quality in the final third was not great from either team, but hopefully that improves in the second leg and we get a bit more of a high-scoring fixture. Thank you very much to all the new viewers and subscribers. If you are new around here, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.